And Jacob Falk wins the opening face-off from Ethan Barangan. Syracuse will begin on offense. This was a team that demolished its competition for the most part last year. 4 of their 5 games blowouts. The lone close game, a 2-goal win against Army. And Syracuse strikes early. Number 22, that fabled jersey worn by Chase Scanlon. He was the Orange's leading point scorer and goal scorer from last year.
Well, this is going to be a problem, Anish, for Army. When you short stick Chase Scanlon, you have so much concern about the
calling for
West Point.
Scanlon feeding inside, a swarm of black, and it's taken away by Army. Kark, your keys for Army.
Well, when you look at the Black Knights, they need midfield scoring. You know what you're getting out of Brendan Nichtern. But who's going to step up from the midfield in the one-on-one defense, defending the Dodgers from Syracuse?
A chance to go early, an unsettled goal. It's Aiden Burns, the junior from Long Island.
Aiden Burns brings a great complimentary piece to Brendan Nichtern.
And Dordevic as the guys to bump up polls to.
If I'm Curry, I'm going to say to myself, all right, you want to disrespect me? Well, guess what? It's time for me to eat. Now I'm going to the rack.
Dordevic against Hudgens. Tucker Dordevic wins the matchup and fires a bullet from the outside.
He hails from Portland, Oregon. Burst on the scene as a freshman, and he is going at Army's top defender. He was playing offense and he was getting playing time, but his value is in the middle of the field for Syracuse, starting from the defensive end and creating offense. You don't pick him up, he will sling it from downtown.
Reminds you a little of Matt Abbott. Dordevic, left hand again, and he scores. That's 2 going to his left.
The problem when you guard Tucker Dordevic, because of his work ethic and the amount of time he puts in the offseason, he is equally effective going right or left. In the beginning stages of this ball game, Tucker Dordevic is dominant. Give the ball to Nichtern and then a turnover right away.
Here's Dordevic, already 2 goals, both with the left hand. Spins to his right, fires a rocket. A first quarter hat trick for the 4th-year sophomore out of Oregon.
Anish, if you arrived today from Mars and you watched the first quarter and I asked you what hand is Tucker?
We saw this the last 2 games of 2020. Tucker Dordevic further removed from that foot injury. 5 goals, 2 assists against Hobart. A hat trick against Johns Hopkins, and he was just hitting his stride. And John Desko told us he felt Tucker picked up right where he left off. As your folks in Yorktown say, no booch.
Yeah, no. And look, when Tucker Dordevic hurt his foot, that's a really tough injury for a player like him because he's so aggressive with his change of direction and he drops that plant foot into the turf, putting so much pressure on himself.
How about the feed and the finish? It's Jacob Buttermore, and it's 5-1 Syracuse. That's 4 straight for the Orange.
You know, we talk about the first midfield of Trimboli, Curry, and Dordevic. This second midfield.
Here is Trimboli. Turned away, good defense there. Liam Davenport. Now Curry. Back to Trimboli. Trimboli on the run, finds the back of the net. First game for Syracuse. The Orange look to be in mid-season form. It's 6-1.
Well, last season in the 2-goal win, Jamie Trimboli had 5 goals. So when you talk to people around the Army program,
Abshire over to Burns. He has the lone Army goal. Abshire steps into one. That'll reset the shot clock. 15 seconds on the man up. Any shot that hits the goalie or the crossbar resets the shot clock. And we'll be back to even strength. Abshire feeding the crease. Nichtern is there. And the Patriot League's preseason player of the year is on the board.
Tremendous pass by Abshire, seeing through the layers of the Syracuse defense. That was a 1-minute penalty. Illegal pocket. The depth of the Syracuse pocket, too much.
2017, of course, 2010 NCAA tournament first round. Army, one of the biggest upsets in the history of the tournament, knocking off the 2-seed Syracuse. And that Syracuse team was loaded, coming off back-to-back national championships. And Army cuts the lead in half. It's 6-3. Gunnar Phillip, who had a goal against Virginia, with his second tally of the season.
Anish, I just said moments ago, don't sleep on Army in a 4-goal game.
Here comes Curry, who really improved his shooting percentage last year. Dordevic has an opening. Big save by Schupler, going down low to get it.
Yeah, Schupler did a fantastic job matching stick on stick with Dordevic.
Still got to clear, and Army. Little helter-skelter. They've got a chance here. Streaking in. And will this count? It will. It's 6-4. Doug Jones, his first career goal.
Anish, moments ago you mentioned Syracuse's ride in pressuring Army. Well, if you have the athletes to run by them.
Army picked second in the Patriot League behind Loyola. Hounds gave Virginia a scare yesterday. And the Hoos pulled away. What a feed and what a finish. It's Abshire.
This is next level passing by Brendan Nichtern. If you're a young attackman, just watch how his head is always up surveying the defense and after it and going down swinging, but you want him to play from a cerebral perspective when you play the defensive spot, not give this man up opportunity.
Dordevic with an absolute rocket. He's got 4 in the first half.
If you make a mental mistake, they'll make you pay. Dordevic's first 3 goals, that body check, and look for Nichtern to quarterback and thread needle-like passes through this Syracuse defense when they're extra man. He has the ability to rifle long darts.
20 and 14, Nichtern and Abshire. And that's Nichtern. So Army answers the Syracuse man-up goal with a man-up goal of its own at 7-6.
How do you like the 1-2 punch of Abshire and Nichtern? The last goal, it was Nichtern to Abshire. This time we're talking about threading needles.
And Army has it. Byer out of the scramble. And he throws it away. Army able to save it. Army's had some success with its early offense. Let's see if they go again. To the wing. Edinger! Tully, New York, right down the road from Syracuse. And he's tied it at 7.
Edinger closes it out, but Anish, what I think a telling factor.
Kielbasa against Davilas. Now he goes. Feeding inside to Byrne. Aiden Burns gives Army the lead for the first time.
Patience. I said take your first shot at 15. Well, Army will take 14.
the 4 goals in the first half on 6 shots. Curry steps into one, an easy save for Schupler, his 5th. And Davenport clears. Davenport all the way, plays it back to Edinger. Tully, New York native. That has been a pipeline for Syracuse. The Hardys, father and the sons, Solomon Bliss, but Nicholas Edinger with a couple of goals now, and he's given Army a 2-goal lead.
Drive about 20 miles south on 81, and you'll run into a small town. Everyone wants to win one every year when you're at Syracuse. But for me now, it's getting back to championship weekend. This is a team that certainly could win it all. They have the talent, but they're also on a Final Four drought since 2013. So to me, it's about getting back to championship weekend. Of course, these guys want to win it all, but the game has changed.
Dordevic feeding Rafis. Beautifully done. Dordevic had the short stick matchup and finds the cutting Stephen Rafis. It's 9-8.
You're seeing a little bit of everything from Dordevic. Righty, lefty, sweeps, shooting on the run, planting your feet and letting it rip. Now you see the vision. This is a tremendous pass.
A whole lot, and you've got a 1-goal lead on the road coming up on 10 minutes to play in the second half. Edinger whips it wide. And Nichtern will retrieve.
I'm with you, man. I want Nichtern to test this matchup. We saw him really only go one-on-one against Kennedy once early in that first quarter. He's playing smart lacrosse. He's playing off the ball and playing off of his teammates, but he's the guy.
Phillip off the feed from Nichtern. It's 10-8 Army.
And Anish, this is what makes great players great. Not pressing and not trying to do too much. Nichtern gets Syracuse. I mean, you have a quarterback in Nichtern who makes everyone around him better. This is a guy as a freshman, had 50 assists. Top 3 in the nation as a freshman, dealing the ball and orchestrating the offense, and you have that piece.
Edinger with the hat trick. A Central New York homecoming to remember.
If I'm John Desko, I take a timeout right now, and I just tell my players, take a deep breath. That's a tough play for Syracuse because you know it's an over and back. And Chase Scanlon, it looked like 22 and white, pushes his defender from the rear. I mean, fight for the ball, but don't put that pressure on the back of the defender and giving them another opportunity when they just threw the ball away and gave it to you.
Gunnar Phillip strikes again. A hat trick for Phillip, and Army's lead balloons to 4.
Costly turnovers will crush you. Army turns the ball over. It looked like a turnover.
To the break, Kark, what does Syracuse have to do to find that early first quarter rhythm that they had?
Well, Dordevic owned that first quarter from a dodging perspective. You give the hot hand some opportunities, but more importantly, when they found creases in the Army defense and had those doorstep type shots, they're not making Schupler really work for it. They're not changing levels. They're not giving him a quick little hitch fake and making him work for it in tight.
And Army scores again. Flag down.
Abshire with a beautiful goal. This goal is absolutely money. The penalty's wiped out. He catches it, goes behind the back.
No real place for him to land other than the goal mouth. Dordevic bothered by Bayer. Sent back, now Hiltz. Number 2 freshman coming out of high school, according to Inside Lacrosse, 77 in white, pegged as a future star at Syracuse. Biggest recruit they've had since Jordan Evans, and Hiltz announces his presence to begin the 4th quarter.
The one thing that I told you When we were leading up to this game, Anish, and I said it earlier, it's the wrist.
Turns it back. But there was also so much on his shoulders in the target of wearing 22. Hiltz doesn't have the kind of pressure, not on this team. Phillip, saved by Porter.
I agree, Anish. And the other piece of it, too, a lot of recruits right now have highlight reels and are on Instagram nonstop. Try to find a highlight reel of Owen Hiltz. You won't.
Nichtern turns and fires. And it looked like he may have taken a shot, too.
Nichtern holding his midsection. And here's the issue. You can't move this guy when he gets a full head of steam at you.
Opportunity there for a quick restart. Army lost to Virginia by this exact score, 14-9. They were minus 20 on ground balls, struggled at the face-off X, struggled to clear. They've cleaned it up a lot in a week. And Syracuse gets to 14-10. Another goal from that vaunted first midfield.
And what separates this midfield, Anish, how two-handed they are. Every Scanlon pass. It's 14-10. You're going to have to play as clean as possible against a really sound defense in Army. And now we talked earlier about them continuing to press.
Abshire makes his way in. He's got a hat trick. 4 different Black Knights with a hat trick.
I say continuing to press, Anish, because they have not taken the foot off the gas.
The cover skills of Peter Dirth. 9 in white. Now Nichtern. He's got his man hung up. Porter out of the cage. Nichtern spinning inside. The goal counts 4 for Brendan Nichtern. He's got a 6-point afternoon.
I get the fact that you only have 7 minutes and change left, so Drake Porter's going to go out. But when you're a goalie and you chase, you're never in position. Brendan Nichtern.
All right, first game for Syracuse. Army had a game under its belt. A team picked to finish second in the Patriot League, top 15 team. But with Syracuse up 6-1 and now being down 6. A stunning turn of events. Here come the Orange, unsettled to make it 16-11.
You get one, you get the ball back because you can dominate the face-off X. Anish, everyone talks about the Syracuse midfield. Before that goal by Rafis, the attack.
The monumental upset in the NCAA tournament back in 2010.
This is what you want. Nichtern had a shorty.
Nichtern to Abshire, a quick stick and a Sports Center top 10.
Nichtern knows Syracuse does not have the matchup they want. They want to put their best long pole on Nichtern. He's their playmaker. Syracuse gets caught. They want to put Kennedy back, but in that told me that they can rebound, and it told me that last week was more about their rust, as they put a cherry on top with Aiden Burns, more about their rust in the first game than what they're all about, because I respect Virginia's ride, don't get me wrong, but Syracuse has the athletes in the middle of the field to do something similar to Virginia that did a week ago, but it told me that Army is able to clean.
Was let's see if this Syracuse attack can beat us. And that was the right game plan.
It was the right game plan, but I'm not going to go there yet because I'm going to give Syracuse that opportunity to answer with their attack.